Hi everybody. Tonight's wine. We're having wine tonight. So hopefully you can hear me. Make sure I have this set up right. Yeah, I'm cooking. So you're joining me as I cook. You're keeping me company. Tonight we're having wine. This is actually from Lazio. We don't usually get wine from Lazio. We usually get wine from Tuscany or sometimes Umbria. But my wife liked the label. So it's a Merlot. I don't know if that's, might be backwards. It's a Merlot from Lazio. Good, you can hear me, you can see me. Somebody can't see me. I don't know why you can't see me. I assume people can see me. I got a 100, very good. Yeah, so tonight it's Lazio Merlot, and this is a Palese glass. You can see right there it says, can you see that? Palese. One of our favorite restaurants. We have their wine glasses. Gina sees me just fine. Okay, I've never done this before. I've never cooked while talking to you. But I thought it would be fun tonight, or at least productive, because I can get two things done at once. So what I'm making is, Sandra can't hear me either. Sandra, I think you have a bad connection. Maybe you should close and start it up again. Tonight I'm making ground beef with vegetables. And yeah, I'll tell you what I'm doing as I go. It's not a cooking show. Like, I'm not going to tell you like, oh, I'm adding this now and this. It's just I'm cooking and I'm talking to you at the same time. So we're doing a cooking show this weekend though, for patrons. So I just have to check on this. Make sure it's good. Smells really good. Here. Okay, so good, people are here. I don't see my mom yet though, and this is actually one of my mom's dishes, so it'd be good if she was here. So it's ground beef with carrots, peppers, mushrooms, and onions, and then tomato, like whole tomatoes. And so it's something that she made a lot when I was growing up. And so I make it now here when I want some American dish. You might not know this, but in Italy, the peppers are gigantic. So, you know, like back home, we have little red peppers, green peppers, bell peppers. This is a typical bell pepper here in Italy. We have two. This is a yellow one and a red one, but you can see how huge. I mean, it's like the size of my head. Very big peppers. So I need to chop that up to go in here. And I have carrots. I already have the mushrooms washed and sliced. The onions and garlic are already in. The meat is already seasoned. And yeah, and then it's served on rice. And like I said, drinking red wine tonight. This is my usual cooking drink, is red wine. So I don't have anything planned to talk about. I just thought maybe if you had questions or anything, we could chat. Let's see, what's happened since last week? Last Tipsy Tuesday. New president. New president in America, and the president here quit. So, big week. I'm chopping the pepper now. I should have saved this one because some of you might have missed it. The red pepper, how big it is. Hey Monica. So this is the bell pepper that I'm chopping up. It's, like I said, it's like the size of my head. That's how big the peppers are here. Never seen anything like that in America. I want this to burn. Okay, so museum's opening in Florence. Yeah, in Florence, so if you recall, or if you don't already know this, Italy, with the virus, we have 3 regions. We have red, which is the most secure lockdown, like you can't go out for anything other than groceries, pharmacies, church. Pretty much that's it, unless you have like an essential reason, like you work in a hospital or something. And then yellow is the region where you can do pretty much anything. But there are some restrictions with restaurants, like they have to close at 6 p.m. to dine in. Like you could go to a restaurant for lunch, but you couldn't go for dinner except for takeout. And then orange is in the middle. And so Lazio, where I am, Rome, that's orange. So restaurants are closed except for takeout. Museums are closed. And then in the yellow region, that's where Tuscany is. Tuscany, I think, is the only yellow region. Hi, Kathleen. And so, yeah, the museums are open in Tuscany, but everywhere else in Europe, in Italy, they're closed. And then yesterday they added a dark red, which I didn't even know that was a thing, but now there's a dark red in addition to red, which I don't know how you could get more strict than red, where you can only leave for grocery stores and church and pharmacies. But they did it, so now there's a dark red. But I think that applies to all of Europe, not just Italy. And I think it has to do with like travel restrictions and testing you have to do, things like that. And then soon they're hoping to add a white region, which will be, it's like the best. So it's everything except, it's nothing except the mask and the distancing. So everything's open, restaurants are open, we can travel between regions, and the only thing is that we'd have to wear masks, hopefully only inside, I don't know. And then we have to keep doing the social distancing thing. So yeah, museums here are not open. They were actually talking about opening them a couple weeks ago. They said they were going to open all the restaurants, and then instead they made everything orange or red. So it was kind of the opposite of what they said they were going to do. Now I'm going to try to chop carrots while I'm talking to you, and I hope I don't chop off a finger, because it feels weird like looking down and not looking at you. What am I making? I am making, it's something my mother always made. It's ground beef, onions, garlic, carrots. So I'm chopping carrots right now. I've already peeled them and washed them. And peppers. So this is a yellow pepper. The red pepper I've already started cutting up, but it's huge. You can see it's like the size of my head. And then also mushrooms. And then we put it on rice. So my mom always called it Hamburger Creole, but I don't know if that's just something that she made up or if that's like a real thing. I never looked into it. If you hear me scream, it's because I chopped off a finger. Like, I'm not even chopping this the right way. I better pay attention to what I'm doing. So, like I said at the beginning, I don't really have anything planned to talk about tonight. So if you want to ask questions, I'll answer whatever you have. I'm just keeping an eye on the ground beef and the onions. It is yummy. Yeah, it's really good. It's and it's kind of a comfort food for me because, like I said, my mother always made it. And so we have lots of fresh vegetables here, so it's very easy to recreate in Italy. Sandra eats 2 or 4 cloves of raw garlic every day. Wow, we put garlic in pretty much everything we make, but I don't eat it raw. Well, my dad's here. So, hi, Dad. Tonight I'm cooking Hamburger Creole, which you know very well. And I'm trying not to cut off my finger while I'm talking to everyone. So yeah, I'm chopping up the carrots. The mushrooms are already sliced. The peppers, not yet. Still working on that. And I'm keeping an eye on ground beef. But this is not a cooking show. This is just you keeping me company while I cook. So when I started doing Tipsy Tuesday, I did it because, like, I came up with the idea Tipsy Tuesday because I was lonely during our lockdown. And then after the lockdown lifted and people, like, originally when this all started, I thought, because we're almost at a year now, I thought that, a couple months, like, all this would blow over. And obviously that didn't happen. And so then when we were, like, for real locked down, we got through that. And then I knew that, other places would go through the same thing. But I still, in my mind, I thought, like, by spring, maybe late spring, early summer, everything would open up. And, Italy opened up kind of to itself in the summer. And then even for some European travelers, but it didn't open up to Americans. And so I was kind of waiting for that to happen. And when it didn't, I realized I really missed connecting with people kind of one-on-one, because I do a lot of videos and Instagram stories and things like that, but it's not the same as doing live stuff. And so that's why I came up with Tipsy Tuesday, and it was kind of a play on the term Tip Tuesday, because a lot of people do Tip Tuesdays. And so that was, still everything was opening up. But now, on Tuesdays, it's very busy for our families. We have school things going on, we have confirmation, we have scouts. And so it's kind of funny, but Tuesday is really our busiest day. Whereas before it was just another day of the week. And so, I don't know where I was going with that. That's why I'm cooking tonight. Usually on Tuesdays we do pizza because it's so busy that we just get pizza to go from one of our pizza places, either Pizza Island or Amalfi, just because people are coming and going all evening. But tonight I wanted to cook. And so that's why I thought I would have you cook with me. Tipsy Thursday. It doesn't really have the same ring as Tipsy Tuesday, I don't think. Tipsy Thursday. I don't know. I guess if I had just started calling it Tipsy Thursday, it would have worked. So if you missed it, tonight I'm drinking a Merlot. I think that's backwards for you. And now it's messy because I spilled some. It's a Merlot from the Lazio region. So the region where Rome is located. And it's not a wine that we've ever had before. My wife just liked the label. And so she thought we would try it. And it's good. So I'm chopping up carrots still. So for this we use a kilo of beef. So that's like, what is that, like 2 pounds or something? Is that 2 pounds? I don't know. And it lasts us for several days. Or maybe we do like 800 kilograms or something. No, not kilograms. Yeah. No, that would be ridiculous. That's way too much. Anyway, so we do that. I do 3 carrots. I do a couple of these peppers, and then mushrooms, and then whole tomatoes. Yeah, 2.2 pounds. So it's around 2 pounds of beef plus the onions and garlic and carrots and peppers. And it's really good. We make this probably every couple weeks. I make it. I'm chopping the peppers now. If you missed that earlier, this is the size of our bell peppers. I've already chopped it up, so you can't see, but it's big. It's not like the ones back in the States. We are going to do a cooking class this week. We're planning to do a cooking class for patrons on Saturday. It'll be Cacho Pepe, a very traditional dish here in Rome. Very simple to make, but it's also very easy to mess up. It's basically just pasta, cheese, and black pepper. But when I take my groups to dinner here, we usually go to a restaurant called Palese. And if you missed it, I'm drinking out of you can see the etching on the glass says Palese. It's one of my favorite restaurants here in Rome. But they do an amazing Cacio e Pepe. And in addition to the carbonara, it's one of the people's favorite meals. But it's so simple. So we're going to make that for patrons this Saturday. I'm going to put all of that information on the patron page tomorrow so that you can get your ingredients. But like I said, it's not very complicated. It's not a lot of ingredients. But it's one of those dishes that's very easy to mess up. Because if you heat it too long, the cheese can get congealed and gets really nasty. So you have to be careful. So I'm cooking the beef right now with the onions and the garlic. I've already chopped up the carrots. Now I'm chopping up the peppers. And I'm looking down because I don't want to chop off my finger. But if you have questions, let me know, because I don't have anything to talk about. I'm just talking to you while I cook. Have I ever considered doing Zoom with patrons? No. What would be the benefit of Zoom over, like the lives that I do on YouTube? But I've never used Zoom. I think I know like all through the quarantine, everybody's using Zoom for school, for work meetings, and all kinds of things. I have a friend that's doing a lot of stuff on Zoom, but like, what's the benefit? I guess you can interact maybe, but you can do that on YouTube too. I don't know. I don't know. So Laura, tell me why I should use Zoom for patrons, because I'll do it if I need to. Everyone can see each other. Well, there's almost 300 patrons, so I don't know if everybody's watching at the same time, that would be good. I don't know. I would love to be able to see people while I'm talking, but comments work too. That's how we interact. I guess I could bring people in from time to time. So America has a new president. I mentioned this at the beginning, and Italy's president stepped down today. And I really have never followed, this isn't going to be political at all. I've never followed Italian politics, but apparently there's a lot of changes. And in the time that Italy's been a country, there's been 68 different governments or something. So apparently this kind of stuff happens a lot. I don't know. But yeah, so the president of Italy stepped down today, and they're trying to figure out a way to, it's almost right. They're trying to figure out a way to not have elections because of the pandemic stuff. So exciting stuff here in Italy. But really, I don't keep up with it because I'm an American, and although Italian politics, I guess, could affect me if something crazy happened, for the most part, it doesn't. And so I already keep up with American politics. I don't want to keep up with other stuff too. I keep up with church politics, so that's always fun. Some of you may have noticed or have heard that the Pope has a back problem, and it's been going on for a long time. But the last few weeks, he's had quite a flare-up, and so he's canceled some events. He canceled What did he cancel? Oh, the prime minister stepped down. I thought Conte was the president. See, that's how much I keep up with the politics here. I don't know. I know that he's the one that comes on TV and tells us that restaurants are closed. So apparently he's the prime minister, not the president. So thank you for that. I don't want to give out false information. But yeah, the Pope has canceled several events because of a sciatica problem, back issues. So keep him in your prayers. He's done it before, so it's not like new. It's not blackout related or anything like that. He's still doing some things. He still did his Angelus. He just isn't doing his... Like we had a mass on Sunday for the Word of God, and usually the Pope would do that when he would preside at that, but he had somebody else do it. And what else did he not do? He's canceled some of his meetings, but it's just back issues. But if you recall, early in his presidency, he said that Pope Benedict set a precedent for popes retiring. Like there had been someone before him, but he said that he would probably end up doing the same thing. So maybe this is the year. Who knows? Just had a baby. Use your podcast and IG videos to soothe her to sleep. Thank you. Hey, motherhood. Hopefully that doesn't mean we're boring, and just that it's a nice voice. You say that you use Joni's voice and my voice to soothe the baby to sleep. So good. I think I have a soothing voice. I heard that a lot during the videos I made during the quarantine, was that I had a very calming voice, because while we were being locked down and things were just starting to happen in other parts of Europe and other parts of the States, people said that my voice was very calming. So if that's the reason that it's soothing your child, then good. If it's because I'm boring, then I'll have to make things more exciting. I'm chopping up a pepper now, so I'm looking down, because I realize that I shouldn't stare at you while I'm chopping a carrot. So I see my mom is on here now. So Mom, I'm making Hamburger Creole. So I don't know if my mom came up with that name or if that's like an official thing, but we had it a lot growing up. So it's ground beef, onions, garlic, carrots, bell peppers, mushrooms, and I use whole tomatoes, and then we put it on rice. So not boring. Hey mother, so it says it's not boring. So it's a soothing voice that I can, that's good. Yeah, so Hamburger Creole, it's a comfort food for me, something that we make here every few weeks when we want something from home. So I've already got the ground beef going, the garlic and the pepper. This isn't a cooking show, so I'm not like doing all the measurements and stuff for you. It's just you keeping me company while I'm cooking. And I did as much prep as I could before I started. I went ahead and chopped up a lot of the stuff. Not enough, because I'm still chopping up the peppers and carrots. And if you missed from the beginning, this is the size of bell peppers in Italy. Like this is head sized. The ones that we used to get in the States, we usually shopped at Publix. I think that's mostly a southern grocery store. They were not this big. So big peppers. And I used 2 for this dish. And we get a variety of colors. We have red, yellow. This one's not as big as the red one. You can see size difference. I usually do not use green. We also have orange. And so the yellow is pretty sweet. The red is kind of sweet too. The green is a little more bitter, so I don't usually use it. And like my mom always used the green pepper, I think. Let's see, my mom says someone who worked in a restaurant taught her this dish, and that's the name they used. And so she always used it. So that's what I use. Hamburger Creole. And yeah, this will last us a couple days because it's a lot of food. And if you missed it, drinking wine from Lazio. Monica says this is a generous sized kitchen by European standards. It is. It's actually too big. Like they could have used some of this room in other places. Like the counter space is not too much. Like that's kind of it. And where I'm standing here, it just is, I don't know, it's a few more feet beyond. But the room is big. So we have like a full-size refrigerator, freezer, 4 burners. If you've seen my videos from where I talk about when we moved over, when we first moved over, we had just 2 like hot plates basically that were just side by side. So this is a nice space. We have washing machine in here. We have several cabinets. I think I did the kitchen tour on my patrons video when we made Amatriciana. And maybe I'll do it again once I get everything chopped up. But the beef is almost done, so I need to get going on the peppers. So, other questions? Anybody have any other questions? Talked about the Pope, talked about the Prime Minister and the President. Still no idea when travel will be allowed. I mentioned this earlier, but the Lazio region is orange out of 3 regions: red, orange, yellow, orange being in the middle. Several regions went into red, several are in dark red, which is like a European measurement. And so some of the numbers are looking better, but for some reason the restrictions seem like they're getting tighter. So I have no idea when tourism will open back up. Maybe the summer. I have a friend that was supposed to come in April. Like this was planned a long time ago, and that's probably going to need to be canceled because I think in March they're going to kind of reevaluate everything. March 15th maybe is the date that I heard. But that's kind of reevaluating what's going on for us, not really opening it up to other people. So I can't imagine that in March they would say that like Italians can travel between regions, but at the same time other people could come back. I have no idea. I wish I had an answer to that question, because I would really love to visit home, and I can't do that right now. It's just too complicated. But it's been almost a year since I've been home to the States. And usually we try to go a few times a year. It's been, the last time my wife and kids were in the US was before Thanksgiving. No, we were there for Thanksgiving. So right after Thanksgiving, they came back. And then I went back again. I was there for my mother's birthday, and I had a speaking event. So Monica says Spain suggested August was a target. I could see that. Somebody last week said that, or on Saturday. On Saturday, I did my Second Cup Saturday, and I did kind of a walk around the Prati and the Borgo neighborhood. But somebody said that the Holy Land was set to open in March, I think. And Jeff Cavins, if you don't know who that is, he's like a big Catholic writer. He's done some videos. He is doing a pilgrimage, I think, in March. But then just yesterday, Israel closed their borders again. So I don't know what's going on. They're doing a really intensive vaccine rollout in Israel, but the numbers are still going up. So they closed everything so that nobody would be coming in with um, the new variants of the virus. Let's see. Christopher's asking, will the new administration give you a chance of getting to Europe again anytime soon? I have no idea. I don't know. It is very frustrating. Okay, so the beef is done. I'm going to add the vegetables. I chopped up everything. Carrots, red pepper, yellow pepper, and I'm going to add that right now. So that'll cook for a while. We're not eating until like 8:30 because that's when everybody will be home. So this kind of simmers for a while. I add the mushrooms a little later. So I'll just mix that up. Make sure it doesn't burn. I'll turn it down. Cover it. I already have all the spices in. The spices I use garlic powder, cumin, oregano, paprika, salt, pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. This is like my favorite thing in Italy because like this is British, right? This is British? Yeah. Yeah, it's made in England, but it feels like home to me. What time is it? It is 7 p.m. Will I get the vaccine for ethical reasons? If we have to get the vaccine to travel, I really don't have a choice. So I don't know about ethical reasons. I guess you're referring to like testing on fetuses, maybe. And then there's some debate about which vaccines do that, which ones don't, how far removed it is. The Vatican says they're approved. Both popes have had the vaccine. I would rather not have a vaccine, but I don't take like medicine at all. Like, what is this? This is Advil. I don't take Tylenol. I don't take Advil. I just don't like taking medicine at all. Like our kids have had vaccines for whatever kids get vaccines for. But I don't like to get, I don't like to take medicine for anything just because I'm like that. I prefer the natural route whenever possible. So, yeah, if I have to get a vaccine to travel, then I guess I would have to do it. But I don't want to unless I have to. It's an experimental vaccine. I don't know about that. I mean, a lot of people have been doing a lot of work trying to get it. A lot of good Catholics say that it's okay. A lot of good scientist Catholics say that it's okay. But I know there's a lot of frustration and everything to the vaccine. Yeah, if I have to do it to travel, then I have to do it. But I don't like to take any kind of medicine at all, so that would be the reason that I wouldn't want to take anything. But I can see that conversation getting very heated, so we'll talk about food instead. Speaking of food, the podcast, this next episode on Thursday, is all about food. And Joni somehow makes it, she brings in like the theological portion of, because she's the theologian. I'm not. I'm just the travel guy. Christopher says he's never had a flu shot, but he'll get this shot. I've never had a flu shot either. I've also never really been sick, so that's good. Oh, I didn't add the tomato yet. What else? Kathleen, natural oils. Yeah, Kathleen, I use the oils that you sent me all the time. So lavender, peppermint. You sent me a lot of good stuff. So thank you for that. The lavender I use for masks. I don't put it like inside. I think that you don't want to be like sucking all that in, probably that strong. But I usually put the lavender oil, like the mass. I always use the disposable for the most part. And so I put it like on the very bottom, just a tiny little bit, just to kind of freshen things up and to help with my anxiety. This smells really good. Nobody's here right now, so they can't smell it, but when they come home, they too will think that it smells very good. Apple cider vinegar, that is, I have not been able to find apple cider vinegar here. Or, no, we did find apple cider vinegar. We can't find like regular vinegar. We can find wine vinegar, which isn't at all the same thing. So I used to like to clean with vinegar. I don't even like cleaning chemicals. Remember, my name is Mountain, so there's a little hippie in there, despite what my mom says. Supper will be a success. I think so. It looks great. It smells really good. I need to add the tomato. I'm going to do that now. So we have, these are whole tomatoes. I've already opened them. Whole tomatoes and sauce. I mean, you can get this in America. So I'll put 2 cans in. And then I'll smush them up and let it cook. And it'll be really good. Vinegar for cleaning, Monica says. Yeah, I love vinegar for cleaning, but I don't know why I can't find that here. I know I have people in Italy watching, so maybe they can tell me if they've ever seen like regular vinegar. So, what else? We've talked about American politics, Italian politics, and viruses and vaccines. What else can we talk about that's not controversial? The podcast. That's controversial because I talk about food. Joni and I talk about some of our favorite restaurants here. Favorite carbonara, which is definitely like controversial. But that'll be up Thursday. So if you're not listening to the podcast, you should be. I think it's good. People seem to like it. What else is left? Oh, the mushrooms. I had the mushrooms later. Christopher thinks things will get better this year. I hope so. I hope things get better. A friend of mine, a priest friend of mine, his brother posted something in, was it the beginning of January of 2020, and he mentioned like all the plagues that have hit the world, I think since the 1500s. So in 1520 there was something, 1620 there was something, 1720, 1820, 1920 the Spanish flu, and then 2020, and then so this was January of 2020, and he said, like, I hope to see you all next year. It's kind of crazy that every 100 years there's some big virus or something. I won't be around for the next one, pretty sure. What is for supper? So we call it Hamburger Creole. Ground beef, carrots, bell peppers. I use a red one and a yellow one. Tomato sauce, mushrooms, onion. That's it. And then we put it on rice. And this was not a cooking class. So if you're just joining, I didn't like give all the measurements and stuff. You're keeping me company while I cook. And so I'm kind of chopping stuff as I'm talking to you and answering questions. And I'm drinking, because I just see some of you popped on, I'm drinking a Merlot from Lazio. And I mentioned this at the beginning, but this is not something we've had before. It is good, but my wife bought it because she liked the label. So usually we drink wines from Tuscany, Red wines from Tuscany, white wines from Umbria. But she saw this and thought she would get it. And it is really good. Interesting about the viruses. It is interesting that it's always in the 20s. Why is that? What part of Italy am I in? I live in Rome, so I'm right by the Vatican. The wine in Italy must be superb compared to the States. It is. And it's also really cheap. A lot of times you can get it without sulfites. This actually has sulfites, it says right there. And it also has the label, I think this is backwards for you, and maybe out of focus, but it's in English. So it says it goes well with game cheese. I've heard of game meat, but game cheese? And roast beef. It is good though. I need to stir this up. Smells good. Looks good. It's very colorful. Do I have a specialty wine store to get wine? Oh, you have to have a specialty wine store in America. Yes, you definitely do. Here, just at the grocery store, I'm trying to see if we have anything else. At the grocery store, wine is really good, really cheap. So I don't know how much she paid for this bottle. She's not here. But I've told this story before. There's a wine that we really like, and I just know the label. I don't remember what it's called, but it's some kind of Chianti Classico, and it's like maybe it's €4, $4.50 or something at the grocery store. And a couple years ago, we were in Miami. That's where my wife's parents live. We were there for our anniversary, and we went to a steak place. What's a big steak place? It's one of the popular ones. I'll think of it in a minute. But we went to the steak place, and they had the wine that we like on the menu. But it was like $35. And like I said, here it's €4.50. €4.50. So it's like maybe $6, $5.50. So there's definitely a big markup when you go to the States. I just moved the tripod. Sorry. Let me fix this. All right, questions coming in. Allison only drinks it without the sulfates, or she gets a headache. Yeah, I think usually our wine doesn't have sulfites, but this one does. So, but I don't usually get headaches. No, it wasn't Outback. It was like Ruth's Chris. That's where it was. Ruth's Chris. Yeah, Laura got it. And yeah, the wine was so I mean, it wasn't like hugely expensive, but compared to what we paid here, it was kind of crazy. We got it anyway because it was our anniversary. This is like ready. I need to put the mushrooms in. So the mushrooms, they're already sliced and washed. I'm gonna put them in, mix it up. I don't know why I usually wait till the end, but I do. Nobody told me to do that. Do I have a favorite Tuscan winery? No, I don't. In Umbria, I usually go to Antonelli. I take my groups there, and they show us how the wine is made, and they feed us. So that's a really good one, and they do have distribution in the U.S., but it's Antonelli. Really good. But in Tuscany, no, I don't have a favorite winery. And yeah, Monica, the mushrooms do cook fast. Like I said, we keep this for a couple days. So I guess I just like to wait until later to put them out. And I also usually do a lot more stirring, just because that's what I like to do. But since I'm talking to you and the camera's over here, I don't want to go over there and stir. I would rather talk. Oh, Joni's here. My podcast co-host. Joni says that we like the wines in Tuscany that require us to ride in tractors. Yeah, so if you don't know, look at my knife now. If you don't know, Joni, she's the co-host on the podcast. She is the religious formation director for the Diocese of Nashville. And so the way we met was because she asked me to do pilgrimages for the diocese. And so a few years ago she was here. We were staying in Siena. And usually with the groups we go to Assisi, but we were not going to Assisi with that group. So we still wanted to do a winery. The winery I use in Umbria is near Assisi, so usually we go to that. And so I found a different winery in Tuscany, and I can't even remember the name right now. But our tour bus picked us up in Siena, drove us to the winery on these like back roads. We were on dirt roads for a portion of the drive, like big 50 passenger bus driving on these switchback dirt roads in Tuscany. And then he could only go so far, and then the winery picks the people up that visit on a tractor. And so, and even their road is really tiny, so they only have one tractor that would come down the hill and pick us up. I don't remember the name of the winery. Like, I know the winery because I have it saved in case I ever go back again. That was a fun day. It was fun being picked up by a tractor because, of course, everybody's like thinking, like, why are we being picked up by a tractor? They have like a big trailer with hay, and we have to all climb into that. And they have to make multiple trips because of the group size. And then we sit outside. It was so great. Anyway, that's what she's talking about. My dad says wine with sulfates give him headaches. I just don't get headaches. My dad gets bad headaches. I don't get headaches. You would like to do a live stream while I cook? Probably end up all confused mess. Yeah. This looks good, but I feel like I probably missed something. Usually when I'm cooking, oh, hi Amanda, I see you're here now. Usually when I'm cooking, I'm like sampling the whole time. Like I would have eaten a lot of the mushrooms and the peppers and the carrots. I would have been scooping out the beef and sampling it as I go. But I'm not going to eat while I'm talking to you, so I haven't done that. So hopefully it's good. I see a few people just joined, so I'm cooking tonight. It's not a cooking class. You're just keeping me company as I cook. And I'm making one of my mom's dishes that we've always called Hamburger Creole. I don't know if that's a real thing or something that someone just told her that's what it's called, but it's ground beef, onions, garlic. I just bumped the camera again. Onions, garlic, tomatoes, bell peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers, and carrots and mushrooms. And so that's what we're having tonight. I'm all alone because the kids are at confirmation and scouts, and Christina is picking them up, and she's out shopping or something. It is almost 8 o'clock here, for those wondering. So if you know anything about Italy, Italians like to eat late. So back when we lived in the U.S. more than 7 years ago, we would always eat, the kids were younger then, of course, too. We would always eat around, I think, 6, and then we'd get the kids in bed, and then we would watch TV or something, probably like most of you. But in Italy, most restaurants don't open, I guess really in Europe, they don't open until 7:30 p.m. And so I was kind of used to that just from all of my travels. But when you move over and you have kids and it's like your daily routine, it took a little getting used to. But like even now, like we just regularly eat at 8 or 8:30. Our oldest, so like I said, my wife is out, she's shopping, she's picking the kids up. They won't even be home until like 9:30. So there are kid events, little kids, like 11 to 15-year-old kids that have things that happen until 9:15 at night, which is kind of crazy. And it's a school night. It's Tuesday. So, the schools here are open, so kids have to go to school in the morning, but that's just how the culture is. It's a lot different than America. Like if I tried to go to a restaurant at 6 o'clock, the only thing that would be open would be like McDonald's, Burger King, places like that, which we have McDonald's and Burger King here. Like an Italian restaurant, unless it's really touristy, would not be open. So I gotta stir this. I hear it simmering, so it must be more than a simmer. Looks really good. Smells really good. Gloria says, "What are you making?" I'm making ground beef with onions, garlic, carrots, bell peppers, tomato, mushrooms, a bunch of spices. It's something my parents made when I was growing up. So it's not Italian. And then we serve it on rice. Oh, that reminds me, I need to turn the rice on. Oh. So for those that are not patrons, that did not watch our cooking class when I gave a tour of the kitchen, we have gas stove. And it's not even self-lighting. It's like I have to use a lighter and then turn the gas on. So that's what I'm doing now, because I have to make the rice. So I already have the water measured out. I already have the rice rinsed. Usually we would do this like right before we put it in, but I didn't want to have to do that while I was talking to you. So put the rice in and wait for it to boil. So it's served on, the ground beef is served on the rice. And like I said, it's like a comfort food for me, something I grew up with. So, drinking wine. This is, I guess, my second glass. What time does school begin? I don't know. We homeschool. 8 in the 8 o'clock hour, I guess. I go to St. Peter's in the morning. This morning I went at 8 I was there at 8 a.m. So I was walking there at 7:45, and there were kids going to school. So yeah, I guess school probably starts in the 8 o'clock hour. But yeah, it is crazy that they eat so late and then get up and go to school and work the next day. Do I think Italy will be open to Americans in the spring? So we talked about this earlier. No, I don't think it'll be open in the spring. I wish that it will be open in the spring, but I don't think. Because right now everything is so locked down. Most regions of Italy are the orange level, so we have some freedoms within our own region. But even like I could not go to Assisi tomorrow, or Florence, or Venice. So I don't think that by spring that we will be open to tourists. Maybe in the summer, but that's just wishful thinking. I don't know for sure. So, what else do you have? I think we're nearing 1 hour. And that means that Instagram kicks us off. So, we'll probably have to wrap it up soon. What else? So, cooking class. So if you missed this, there's going to be a cooking class for patrons on Saturday. We're making Cacho Pepe. Well, I should say we. My wife is making Cacio e Pepe I'll just be like talking. Christopher found me through Patty Smith. Good. my good friend Patty Smith, the rock star. So I'm glad you found me through her. That's awesome. Yeah, this Saturday, cooking class for patrons. So if you're not a patron, you want to be a patron, you can sign up on my website, catholictraveler.com. We're going to make Cacho Pepe. We made a matriciana a few months ago. All previous lives are available to all patrons. So yeah, that's Saturday. I'll be putting up the information, the ingredients, and things like that soon. Yes, Sherry, you will be getting a list of information, things you need, ingredients, stuff like that, tomorrow. But it's very simple. It's basically just cheese, pasta, and black pepper. Oh, the rice is boiling. I need to turn it down. Yeah, I'll be putting that on the Patreon site. What else? I'm trying to see how much more time I have before we get cut off. That's probably it. I'm glad you keep me company though, because usually I'm just cooking by myself with nobody to talk to. Oh, Lent. 3 weeks till Lent. So a lot of stuff is going to happen in Lent. If you've followed me the previous years, I think it was like 10 years ago, I wrote an article a day on the Lenten station churches during Lent. I'm doing something similar this year. We're going to have a podcast today for the Lenten station churches. It won't be like the usual length, like 30 minutes. It'll be shorter because it's a different church each day. If you saw all of our videos that I made with the kids through Lent a few years ago, we are reshooting all of those because the kids are a little older and I'm a little older. So we're redoing all the videos. Carrie asked what kind of wine. This was a Merlot from Lazio. It's not something I've had before. My wife liked the label. A little messy because I got a drip on it. It's good. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know this brand. She just liked the label, like I said. So yeah, for Lent, Joni and I are going to do a podcast a day on the station churches. It'll be like a little reflection on the church, and we'll explain more about what station churches are. I will explain more about station churches because I really love Lent. I love the station church tradition. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, updated videos. The articles are all on my site, so you can see those anytime you want. Yeah, so I'm going to have to end this because if I don't stop it before we hit 1 hour, Instagram just deletes everything, and so I can't repost it. So thanks for helping me cook tonight. I'll let you know how it turns out. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay faithful, and I'll see you on Saturday for Second Cup Saturday. Ciao.